For decades, we've all believed that programming, learning how to code, was one of the safest, most future-proof skills you could possibly have. Well, that era is now officially over. And honestly, it ended way faster than anyone could have imagined.
Take a look at this sentence right here. This is the sentence that changes everything. See, this isn't a request sent to a team of software developers. This is a prompt that was fed directly into Google's brand new AI, Gemini 3.0.
That's it. That's all it took. A single descriptive thought just typed into a box. There were no complex technical specs, no wireframes, no endless meetings. Just one sentence. In the result, what came out on the other side? A fully functional, interactive, 3D application. Coded, compiled, and deployed in seconds. An app that can literally see and react to your hands in real time. And this is the part that should really stop you in your tracks. Not a single line of that application's code was written by a human being. Not one.
Okay, let's just dive right into this. This isn't some prediction about a far-off, distant future. This is happening right now. The examples we're looking at prove that for a huge range of tasks, the need for a person to sit down and manually type out code is, well, it's just vanishing.
And we are not talking about simple little code snippets here. With just one command, Gemini 3.0 can generate entire applications. We're talking complex 3D experiences with hand gesture tracking, playable games built from scratch, dynamic websites, and even the software that you would use to design 3D models. It's handling the whole development pipeline completely on its own.
And look, this isn't just my take. This is a sentiment that's echoing all over the place among AI industry insiders. The pace of change has been so absolutely staggering that many of them believe the traditional role of a programmer could be largely obsolete in just 2 to 3 years. Think about that.
So, how on earth did we get here so fast? I mean, it feels like it was just yesterday that we were all impressed that an AI could just hold a basic conversation. The acceleration has been absolutely mind-bending.
Now, what's really fascinating here is just the sheer compression of time. Let's think about this. In 2022, AI was kind of a fun novelty for chatting. Just 3 years later, it's a full-stack developer. A huge moment in all this was the DeepSeek Disruption, which basically proved you didn't need billions of dollars to compete anymore. Then multimodality came along. That's the ability for AI to understand more than just text, to gain senses, like sight and hearing. And now, Gemini 3.0 has put it all together.
We really can't overstate the DeepSeek moment. When a small team, we're talking about 100 people, spending a tiny fraction of what the giants were spending, created a world-class model, well, it lit a fire under the entire industry. It proved that innovation wasn't just a rich company's game anymore, and that just accelerated the race for absolutely everyone.
So how does Gemini actually pull this off? What makes it so different from everything that came before it? Well, it really comes down to a few core breakthroughs.
Okay, the first thing is that Gemini was built from the ground up to be a native agent. Now, think of it less like a simple tool and more like an autonomous project manager. You give it a massive goal, like build me a game, and it can independently reason, plan out the hundreds of logical subtasks, and then execute them in the perfect order, all without you holding its hand. It's like an expert project lead and an entire development team all rolled into one.
And this also brings us to its other key advantage. It processes the world kind of like we do. Yeah, it understands text and code, but it also has this innate sense of visual aesthetics and design. It knows what looks good without being told every single little detail. It can see and react to live video, and it can process audio. So it's much less like a tool and more like a true collaborator. For years, the biggest barrier to entry for this kind of power was just the cost. I mean, training and running these massive AI models was just prohibitively expensive for pretty much everyone. But Google has completely flipped the script on that one.
So here's the crucial point. The cost to start building with this technology, it's now effectively zero. With an incredibly generous free tier, that barrier to entry has been completely obliterated. This puts world-class development power into the hands of anyone with an idea.
So when you combine this level of raw power with this insane level of accessibility, the implications are just enormous. It forces us to ask a very, very serious question. What in the world does this mean for our jobs?
You know the idea of an iron rice bowl? That's this concept of having a job for life, where learning one skill could guarantee your security forever. It's been central to how we've thought about careers for generations. Well,
In the age of AI, that concept is quickly becoming a historical artifact.
And the logic here is pretty simple, right? AI is becoming the ultimate master of any task that's based on memory or just repetitive execution. So what happens? The economic value of simply knowing a process or a piece of information just plummets. The only real path forward is to shift our focus to the skills that remain uniquely human.
So if AI is now handling the how, the future belongs to those of us who can master the what and the why. And this requires a really fundamental pivot in how we think about our own value.
This slide right here really captures the exact pivot we all need to be making. We have to move from being memorizers to being decision makers, from executors to creative strategists. The value is no longer in knowing the answer, but in knowing what brilliant question to ask the AI. It's about developing your taste and your judgment so you can look at 10 AI-generated app designs and know which one actually solves the problem, which one feels right, and which one will connect with people.
So what can you actually do right now? Well, first, you got to replace that fear with curiosity and just start playing with these tools. Second, consciously work on developing your unique judgment, your taste in design, in strategy, in communication. Learn the art of prompting, because framing a problem for an AI is the new core skill. Use it to automate the boring parts of your job so you can focus your precious time on high-level strategy, creative problem solving, and human connection, all the things AI can't replicate.
Look, this isn't the end of human ingenuity. It's the start of a whole new phase. We've just been handed the most powerful tool in history. The question is no longer, can we build it, but what is actually worth building?